Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing an Earthbound deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck is an extremely fun deck to play that I've included all sorts of spicy tech cards in this build for you guys. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Earthbound Immortal Red Nova. This card is such a powerful card for this deck, and I'm so glad that we finally have Red Nova. This card is really, there can only be one Earthbound Immortal monster on the field. And during the main phase, quick effect, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard to send an Earthbound Immortal monster or a Red Dragon Archfiend from your hand or face of the monster zone to the graveyard, and then you can apply one of these effects, which we're always activating the ability to special summon an Earthbound monster from our deck or our extra deck, which is such a powerful ability to be able to use to instantly bring out the exact Earthbound monster we want to our side of the field, like Yugioh Kraken, which is such a powerful card to be able to summon off of Red Nova. We then play 3 copies of Groundskeeper. Groundskeeper is one of the most powerful summons in the entire deck. As if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually special summon one level 5 or lower Earthbound monster from the deck or the graveyard, except another copy of this card. But for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon the extract for the rest turn except for fusion or synchro monsters, which is not that big of a deal. We then play 2 copies of Linewalker. Linewalker is the card you usually want to summon off your copy of Groundskeeper, as this card is really, if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually add an Earthbound Prism or a Harmonic Synchro Fusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is a great ability to instantly either get our Field Spell or our Fusion Spell, which is amazing for this card to be able to do. We then play 3 copies of Stone Sweeper. Stone Sweeper is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card has an awesome effect that if there's a card in the field spell zone, you can special summon this card from your hand, but you can also discard this card from your hand to add a level 3 or lower Fiend Tuner from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to instantly get to our copy of Groundskeeper so we can go full combo. We then play a single copy of Earthbound Greater Linewalker. Linewalker is really good as a 1-of in the build, and I absolutely love this card in the deck. As you control a synchro monster and have a synchro monster in the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. And during your main phase, you can actually add an Earthbound Immortal monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And if an Earthbound Immortal monster is normal summoned while this card's on the field, you can make your opponent's life points become 3,000, so we can summon our copy of Earthbound Immortal Uru to go in for game. Uru is awesome to be able to summon because all of your Earthbound Immortal monsters out of the Earthbound Immortal Uru and the other 2 that we're playing actually can attack your opponent directly. And if there's no field spell, face up on the field, destroy this card. But Uru actually has a really cool, awesome ability that this card has the effect that once per turn, you can actually tribute one other monster to target a face-up monster your opponent controls and take control of that target until the end phase of the turn, which is such a powerful effect to use. We then play a single copy of Chaka-Chalua. Chaka-Chalua is great just to do some burn damage against the opponent, and it's such a cool card to be able to play. We then play a single copy of Elysian Piscu. Elysian Piscu is great to be able to play, and I absolutely love the fact that now that we have Earthbound Immortal Red Nova, it makes it so much better to actually play multiple Earthbound Immortals in this deck so you can resolve Red Nova's effect. This card is insane to be able to use because this card not only destroys cards on the field, but also does burn damage to your opponent, which is such a powerful effect to be able to use, and it's just a really cool card to be able to play. As when this card is removed from the field, except by its owner's effect, destroy all face-up monsters that your opponent controls and inflict 800 points of damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed, which is a crazy powerful effect if it's not destroyed by its own effect. We then play 3 copies of Diabellstar. Diabellstar is really good as a 3-of in the build to basically use this card to step into our Azamina package, because the Azamina package is so good in this deck. We do get locked into fusion and synchro summoning, so this card is really good to be able to use with our copy of Groundskeeper to be able to step into level 8 synchro plays, or use our copy of Linewalker to step into level 10 synchro plays. But this card is really good because it actually lets us search out our copy of Deception, and it's very easy to summon because you can special summon this card from your hand by sending one card from your hand or field to the graveyard, instantly bringing this card out to your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. Fenrir is great to be able to play in the deck because this card has the ability, if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. During the main phase, you can add another copy of this card from your deck to your hand, and also this card helps you spot remove cards from the field, which is so cool. Plus, it's a free special summon, so we can just normal summon our copy of Groundskeeper behind it and go in for a synchro play. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is definitely a 3-of in the build, as this card helps us basically stop the opponent from touching the deck. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Call of the Grave is definitely a 1-of in the build just to stop the opponent from hand trapping us while we're going in for all of our plays. We'll play a single copy of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is amazing to go along with our copy of Call By, just to basically, again, stop our opponent's hand traps. We'll play a single copy of 1-for-1. 1-for-1 is amazing to be able to use because this card helps us summon out our copy of Groundskeeper directly to our side of the field. We'll play a single copy of Sinful Spoils of the White Forest. This card is definitely a 1-of in the build because it's actually searchable off our copy of Diabellstar. And this card has the ability, if you control a Fiend, Illusion, or Spellcaster monster, you can activate one of these effects to be able to special summon a Fiend, Illusion, or Spellcaster monster from the hand, or the effect we usually use to be able to fusion summon a fusion monster from our extract using monsters from our hand or field to help us step into a copy of Guardian Chimera during the opponent's turn. We then play a single copy of the Hollowed Azamina. Hollowed Azamina is great to be able to play in the deck as a 1-of because this card helps us summon out our Azamina monsters to our side of the field by revealing an Azamina fusion monster in the extract, and for every 4 levels it has, round down, send a Sinful Spoils card from your hand and or field to the graveyard, and if face down, reveal it, then special summon the revealed monster, and it's treated as a fusion summon, which is so cool to instantly bring out our cards to our side of the field by using Deception as a material to instantly bring out our fusion monster. We play a single copy of Debiators. Debiators is great to also help us bring out our Azamina monsters, so this card is really good as a 1-of. We play a single copy of Deception. Deception is great to help us search out our copy of our Azamina cards so we can summon our Azamina fusion monsters from our extract. But this is a card you're usually grabbing all at the effect of Diabellstar, as this card has the ability to actually tribute a monster from your hand or field to add an Azamina card from your deck to your hand. And if a monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard and you control an Azamina monster except during the damage step, you can make your opponent lose 15 inner life points, and if you do, gain 15 inner life points. And during the end phase, if this card's in the graveyard because it was sent there from the spell and trap card zone this turn while face up, you can set it back to your side of the field, which is such a powerful effect. We then play a single copy of Harmonic Synchro Fusion. Harmonic Synchro Fusion is basically what the entire deck revolves around, but this card is searchable, so you only need a single copy. This card is able to send a tuner and a non-tuner from face from the field to the graveyard to special summon both a Synchro monster and a Fusion monster that can be made with those 2 monsters, which is insane that you're basically performing a Fusion summon and a Synchro summon by using just 2 materials on your side of the field, plus your copy of Harmonic Synchro Fusion, which is absolutely insane. There's so many cool options you can actually go into using this card, and I have some really cool ones in the extra deck. We then played 2 copies of Earthbound Prison. Earthbound Prison is our field spell of choice, and this card is absolutely crazy. It's crazy, but when this card is activated, you get to target an effect monster that your opponent controls, and this card gains its effect that while this card is in the field zone, you negate the effects of that face-up effect monster while this card is on the field. Also, during your main phase, you can actually normal summon an Earthbound monster in addition to your normal summoner set, which is great for our Earthbound Immortals, and it also has the ability you can only gain this effect once per turn. And this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, and you have an Earthbound monster in your field or graveyard, you can half your opponent's life points, and if you do, negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls into the end phase, which is an extremely powerful effect to be able to use, basically just to shut down our opponent's board, and make it so our opponent's never going to want to deal with this field spell. We then played 3 copies of Wanted. Wanted's definitely a 3-of in the build to basically just use this card to search out our copy of Diabellstar directly from our deck to our hand, which is so cool so we can step into our Azamina package and basically protect our plays, which is so cool to be able to do, and I absolutely love this card in the deck. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing 3, and that's going to be 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is an amazing hand trap just to stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. This card is currently one of the most powerful hand traps in the entire game, and definitely a 3-of in the build. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with one of my favorite fusion monsters, Yugioh. This card is so cool to be able to summon, and this card has a really cool ability that it does require an Earthbound fusion monster plus an Earthbound synchro monster to make this card. And it must be fusion summoned, and at the start of the damage tab, if this card battles a monster, change its monster's attack and defense to 0. And if a monster in your opponent's possession is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can destroy all cards that your opponent controls. You can only use the effect this card once per turn, and if this face-up card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can special summon an Earthbound monster from your deck or your X deck, which is such a cool ability to be able to use. And my single copy of Yugioh Kraken. Yugioh Kraken is great to be able to summon in this deck, because this card is the ability, if this card is special summoned, you can add a field spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is a great ability. And if a monster is special summoned from your opponent's X deck, except during the damage step, you can actually destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible that were special summoned this turn. And if you do, inflict 800 points of damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. We then play 2 copies of Gremlina. Gremlina is so easy to make in this deck, which is why I'm playing 2 copies in this build. And this card is great because if this card is special summon, you can actually add an Earthbound monster from your deck to your hand. We then play a single copy of Guardian Chimera. Guardian Chimera is great to be able to summon the deck. You can either get a pop 2 and a draw 1, or a draw 2 and a pop 1, which is really cool to be able to do. Plus, we can summon this card during our opponent's turn using Sinful Spools of the White Forest. And then a single copy of Musalago. Musalago is great for our Azamina package because monsters your opponent control lose 500 attack and defense points for each Azamina monster that you control. And in this card's fusion summon, you can actually add an Azamina or a Sinful Spools card from your deck to your hand. With my single copy of Severa. Severa is great to be able to play because this card is actually a walking negate, making this card definitely a 1-of in the build. With my single copy of Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel is so easy to summon in this deck, and it's basically a spot removal on summon, which is insane to be able to do. Plus, you don't even have to use a tuner to make this card, but it's really easy to do. With my single copy of Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign. This card is awesome, becomes absolutely massive, and drops our opponent's attack points down, and can also help us banish cards from our opponent's field and graveyard, and protects itself from being destroyed by card effects. With my single copy of the Virtual World QB. This card ends games on its own, as any card sent from the field to the graveyard is banished instead, which is an effect you do have to watch out for a little bit in this deck. But this card is really good to be able to make, because in certain matchups, that can instantly win you a game. With my single copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. This card is a walking negate and super easy to make in this build. And then a single copy of Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. Scarlight is great to be able to make to basically just board wipe at the field and then step into your copy of Abyss, but this card has the ability, this card's name becomes Red Dragon Archfiend while it's on the field or in the graveyard, and once per turn you destroy as many special summon effect monsters on the field as possible with attack less than or equal to this card other than this card, and then inflict fire and voids damage for each monster destroyed, which is a great ability. We play a single copy of Draco Berserker. Draco Berserker is great just to help you go in for game, plus helps you banish monsters off the field. We play a single copy of Yugioh Griffin. Yugioh Griffin is great in this deck, but I feel like one copy is really all you need. It has the ability to quick effect special summon an Earthbound monster from the grave in defense position, which helps you just climb into other plays in this deck, and it's a really good one-of in this build. We then finally a single copy of Yugioh Gremlin. Yugioh Gremlin is awesome to be able to play in the build, but I feel like one copy, again, is all you really need. And it has the ability to, during the main phase, quick effect, you can actually target a face of the monster that your opponent controls, and your opponent chooses one of these effects to apply to either destroy the monster or gain life points equal to that monster's attack points, and during the battle phase, quick effect, you can actually fusion summon an Earthbound fusion monster from your extract by banishing its materials from the hand, field, and or graveyard, which helps us make our copy of Yugioh Gracia. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. I absolutely love playing it with level 7 monsters in the deck because it makes it super easy to actually make level 8 and level 10 synchro plays in this deck. It's just absolutely amazing to be able to play, especially with the Azamina package in this deck. And I really love the fact that we now have Red Nova in this build that can help us summon out all sorts of cool cards and actually makes us want to play more of the Earthbound Immortals, which is amazing. So, that's good for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come for our notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.